Okay, so this is going to be jumping straight into the gear crafting guide part 2. So part 1 I know was long, and I'm sorry if it was very confusing, but the min-max rules are in there and a little bit else, but we're going to be doing gear conversion. Also, as you do your crafts, you guys may have already been able to claim a lot of these, but these rewards are going to be available. The next challenge is going to be Recruit Furious through that, clear Expedition 5 times, and then Golem, 85 equipment will finish today. And then converting will finish today, and then expedition 10 times, and then there's something with clearing a Azamanic 10, and we will be doing an Azamanic team tomorrow. Very easy to do to clear this portion, and then from there we'll craft a couple pieces. And then I will say right now, if you're crafting Azamanic, focus on chests. Chests and swords are the easiest. You want to be trying to get one unity piece. You can do chests and helmets because you get one rage set sword. So you can be trying to get some rage gear out of this too. So chests and helmets is actually what I'll suggest, but mostly chests. So that will be something you could be working on after, but let's go ahead and go straight into the crafting section. So after last video, we crafted some swords and a little bit of everything else, but we haven't really upgraded them yet. This piece was going really good for Shu. One thing is just trying to learn what pieces have synergy with what characters. So you need to look at a character and say, what is going to be good on this? So this was a piece that if it rolled into crit chance or defense, it was going to be good. I'll just upgrade it real quick. And then rolled straight effectiveness, but it has effectiveness defense. So if it at +9, or if it at +9, let's just quick do this just so you guys can see. So it rolled crit chance. So this is a piece that might have some potential later. It is a speed set main piece. So the thing is, you're going to need a lot of speed set boots, and you're going to have some pretty crappy ones at the beginning, and we'll upgrade them later. So if it's on speed set with speed with some effectiveness, this is missing a roll. So this is technically a blue piece of gear at this point because you lost an entire roll off getting 2 minimum rolls. So this is already pretty bad, but you are going to need some crappy pieces like this just to throw on some PvE characters. So don't be too picky at the beginning of the game, and that is with all gear. Don't be too picky. If you see that you're going to be able to use it or hear that you're going to be able to use it, then use it. So now going into crafting again, we're going to go straight into it. I'm going to just, oh wait, that's conversion. Sorry. We're going to go straight into crafting. So we have 3,600 left. We crafted a lot of right side charms. With crafting the right side charms, we should be starting to build up a decent amount of our materials. So we are going to want to trade in for these charms. These charms are the most important every week. Right side charms. These are for your rings and necklaces. So all of you guys that are really hard gate kept on your rings and necklaces, upgrading them right now, this is a way to get 20 big charms, which is enough to +15 a piece every week, plus a little bit extra. So make sure that while you're doing this, you're going to be trying to save your speed and crit sets from this until you use all your conversions. Once you use all your conversion boxes, you're free to just throw whatever into it. So you're going to be wanting some boots too, because conversion on your rings, necklace, and boots are the most important. So those of you guys that are going to be trying to get gear for ML Landy, you're going to be starting with Banshee Crafts. So with Banshee Crafts, the thing that I talked about before is the easiest pieces of gear to get are going to be your chests and swords. So by getting chests and swords, these are going to be able to be the easiest things you can you have the highest chance of getting a good and usable piece by doing these first. So if we just do a 10 craft of this, we will probably end up getting something that is decent. So all blue pieces we're going to extract right away. Here's a counter set piece that has effectiveness, effect res, flat health, and effect res. So this piece could be used on a soul weaver if you really wanted to, but we have a god tier piece. I just saw it. So this piece you could upgrade. It has 2 minerals. You want to dodge effectiveness on this, and then this piece could be usable. So this is a piece you could try, and if it rolls high defense and dodges flat HP and effectiveness, you're good. And then you can change the effectiveness. It won't be a great piece, but it'll be usable. Next up, we have this. Defense percent 5, 3 off max, crit damage max, health max, effectiveness. If this piece dodges effectiveness and rolls well in the top 3 stats, this is a banger piece. This is so good that we got it. And that just shows you how easy right side gear is to get. This is a piece with a min crit chance roll with some defense. But if you're needing counter gear early, you can roll this. If it rolls high, it's going to end up being somewhat decent. But looking at certain pieces of gear, something I didn't talk about in the last guide. Since this piece of gear is a red piece of gear with 2 minerals, it is technically a purple piece of gear. So if we were to look at this piece of gear and then look at a piece of gear like this is 24 equipment score versus 23 equipment score, and this isn't even max rolled. So yes, even though a piece is red, if the rolls are minimum, it will be worse than a purple piece. So keep that in mind. Now, this is a piece that has HP percent and 1 speed. You could roll this. This is a max roll, and if it max rolled from here, it's going to end up being around 80 equipment score, 87 equipment score. If it max rolled from this point, it has 2 subsets that synergize, so that is a piece you could take a gamble on. This piece is a Effectro set with crit damage. It's not really going to be effective for most characters. If this was all max rolled, you could try to roll it. It could be used on a character like Twisted Kron, or if it rolled crit damage, crit chance, it could be used on regular Kron, BBK. There are certain characters that they could be used on. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to save this piece. I'm going to go ahead and I'll save this piece because why not? This piece, I'm not going to for the sake of the guide, but if you're trying to hard focus counter units, you could try to roll this piece and see if it max rolls every time. If it doesn't max roll, it's not going to be too good. This piece is just all around better than this piece because it has higher rolls versus a 1 speed versus a 4 crit chance. So actually, we'll go ahead and sell this. And then this piece is effect res of defense effectiveness. If this piece were to roll effect res defense and at plus 12 rolled HP %, you could change the effectiveness to speed. And this could end up being a pretty decent piece as well. So that shows you right there, chests are just very, very easy. So by spending your early Banshee materials on chests and swords, you'll be able to get gear right away. But if you already have the chest, helmet, swords, and things like that from trading in from the arena shop, then you may want to look into doing your crafts on the right side gear, because the ring for the right side gear that you get from arena shop and the boots are attack %. So if you're trying to build a character like Shu, you might want to go the ring route and chase rings. And by doing crafts in this, it's going to suck a little bit. So here's a piece of gear that is very, very high rolled and has potential to be good on quite a few characters. So at HP %, it's going to be solid. This was attack % with HP sub down here would be good. But these are all synergistic substats that don't waste anything on effectiveness and effect res. So this is a piece we'll keep for sure. That's a good one. So one tip I give is anything you see with effectiveness and speed, you are going to roll it to speed check. You need some fast effectiveness rings no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of our blue pieces. This is a piece with attack %, HP %, effect res, and flat defense. This piece is worth rolling 100% because it has HP %, defense %, and then flat defense is the best subset you can get, especially on the characters that lifesteal is good on. One example is Violet and Remnant Violet. So HP %, defense %, and flat defense rolls are great on Remnant Violet because he needs some survivability. So if you roll this piece and it were to dodge effect res, it'd be great. If it rolls high rolls for everything, even if it does get a splash of effect res, you can probably use it anyway. So the thing is, when chasing Banshee gear on lifesteal and counter set, you are going to mainly be focusing on the overall score of the pieces of gear. So here's a piece of gear that has effect res, defense, counter set, attack %. This piece is probably not going to be used on much of anyone. There is one character called Karina that this piece does work on if it were to roll pretty high and dodge attack and get another roll down here. But purple gear that only has 2 synergistic substats, I talked about this last time, is a gamble no matter what, because you have to put a lot of resources into them to get them plus 12. And we do not have Karina on this account, and we will end up getting a better piece later for her if we do end up getting her in the future. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this. And then now we have a speed check, we have a gear score check piece, we have a gear score check piece here. So flat HP is going to be good on your Tamarin. This piece is actually perfect for Tamarin. It doesn't have any speed, and Tamarin does want decent speed, but if you put Tamarin on speed set with an Effectra set, you get a little bit of stat bonus. These are all pretty high rolls, and she can use all of these stats. So flat HP is technically usually bad. That's the only character that this could be used on. Currently that I know of, DJ Basar is a character that values flat HP over HP % as well. He's a 5-star Moonlight character, and there are a couple others. If you do some research, you can find out if you have a character that benefit from it. But for right now, it's impossible to cover all 400 characters in a guide like this and tell you whether each piece of gear is going to be good. At the beginning of the game, you're going to make crafting mistakes. So just keep that in mind. It's fine. We all did. Everyone who's a higher end player, been playing for a long time, they've all made mistakes, and a ton of mistakes. So things have gotten a lot more simple lately, but going back, there's a billion things all of us would have changed with our accounts, and we'd have so much better gear. So the more time you put into learning what characters can use what, the better off you're going to be later on. So before any crafting session, the best thing you can do on an account is save up all your crafts and do one big crafting session. So by doing one big crafting session, that gives you time to get your characters ready, know what kind of gear you're looking for, know what kind of gear you can use. And it's another portion of do not rush Epic 7. You can rush content with the free gear like we're doing for the guides, but once you start getting into portions like this, you do not want to rush. So let's go ahead and extract all that. These are all pieces that we could check if we wanted to. And now we are just about out. What I said was the second easiest piece to do is going to be swords. But the sword that you get from Banshee or from Arena Rewards has pretty decent substats. So since that is the case, the helmet you get from the Arena Rewards has pretty bad substats. And those pieces usually roll bad. So what I'm going to do is actually put my last crafts in helmets, because if there's a chance we get a decent helmet, then we can maybe be able to make a piece otherwise. So again, any piece that is not speed set with speed has the chance of going 21 speed. So as a new player, I still feel like it is always worth plussing anything that has speed, even if the substats don't synergize. This piece is terrible. But if this were to go max speed, this could be 22 speed. So by every piece that you don't check like this is a chance that you just missed a 20 speed piece of gear. So look at it that way. That is very important. A lot of people would tell you it's not worth rolling, it's too speed. It's a 22 speed potential piece, and you can just put a little bit of resource in, see if it goes to +6, doesn't go to +6 speed or +5 speed. Don't keep going. You can throw it away from there. Now, as a Manic Tomorrow, like I said, the best thing to do is the same mindset as Banshee. You're going to want to craft up to the chest, because you do get one unity ring that is good for PvE. If you get a second unity piece that has some effectiveness, crit chance, crit damage combination, and maybe some speed, that piece will be usable right away. So, and then if you get rage gear, then if you get a free sword that's rage set, this will end up pairing with that. And then I would do helmets. So these are going to be the two pieces with whatever pieces you get from that tomorrow. Now, Golem. Golem is going to be the kind of gear that you can try to balance sets with. So the best thing to focus for Golem gear is going to be these three left side pieces. But Golem is not that great. It's not something you'll farm a lot. In terms of a protection set, those protection sets are okay, but you really only need one or two, and you get a pretty good one for free from clearing Labyrinth. So I'm just going to go ahead and craft helmets, or we could craft boots and try to do a conversion. So by doing a conversion, if you were to get a speed main stat or convert into a speed main stat piece, then with this kind of then you could end up balancing out one of your HP sets to be better. But I think the best value for a new player is going to be doing your left side gear. So let's go ahead and craft this. I'll do a couple chests, I'll do a couple helmets. So looking at this piece has perfect synergy but low substats. So this would technically be already a purple piece of gear, lower than a middle purple piece of gear. You can see the equipment score is very low. We have a mineral, the worst flat stat you can get, and then defense percent that's almost mineral. But it has all synergistic substats, so as a new player, it'd be something to look at to keep. Here is a piece that has crit chance, speed, and crit damage. This is a piece that if you were to roll all speed on, it would be amazing. If it rolls high from here, you could probably balance it into a piece or into some kind of character later. So it has all synergistic substats. We're good to go on it. This piece has effectiveness and crit chance. Like I said, effectiveness is not really a stat you want to focus on. Yes, you do need some effectiveness for PvP or PvE, but I'm going to tell you right now, your effectiveness is covered by the free PvE gear it gives for your attack sets. You can try to get some effectiveness on your crit chance set that you use to balance those out. But for right now, I'm just going to try to instill in your brain, if you see damage subs and with effectiveness, you're going to want to just avoid those pieces entirely. So we're going to sell that. This is a piece that has effect res. Effect res effectiveness is the worst combination to have. Anytime you see that piece is usually screwed unless it has speed. This piece has speed, effect res, and HP, all synergistic, but it is on protection set. So we are going to want HP percent as our fourth roll, or we're going to want to change this flat health to HP, or somehow get HP on there for it to be very effective. But as a 4-speed piece, this could be 24 speed. And the thing is, you don't have to use fully finished sets. You could use, if you're trying to make a 300 speed character, you can go speed set with one effect res set piece and one piece from protection set. It doesn't matter. It's about getting the speed and then getting the speed bonus from the set. And that is the case with everything else. If you're doing a counter set character, you can end up using an HP piece that has crit chance, crit damage or whatever to round out your stats. They don't have to fully finish the set. So this is going to piece that has decent synergy all around. So this we do like, has speed, crit chance, and defense, all middle rolls, but not bad. So I'll go ahead and extract the rest, and then we'll save those 4 pieces. So these all have potential. Now, going in, we'll go ahead and do, what do we have, 840? So we can do 110 craft of both Nex and Sword Sun. So this should give us a little bit of options. This piece has potential to be super good. It has triple stat synergy in 2 different ways. It has speed, effectiveness, health, which is great, and it has speed, health, effect resist, which is great. So if this dodges either effectiveness completely, it changes to defense percent. If this dodges effect res completely, then we could change effect res to defense percent, and then now you are locked in with a piece that has full perfect 4-piece synergy. This is a piece that has decent substats, but since it doesn't have speed, it's not really that great. Plus it has 2 minerals, so, and it's protection set, so it doesn't really value, or doesn't have much value in any way. Like I said, this part of the guide is going to be much faster. Here's a piece that has some pretty low rolls, wouldn't focus that. Here's an attack set piece that has attack, crit chance, and speed. Since it has speed, we're going to roll it no matter what. If it rolls high on crit chance and attack, then we can keep rolling. If it rolls speed, we keep rolling. So this is a piece that can be okay, and it could be reforged. The thing with all of these pieces of gear, since they're 285, you can reforge them. And by reforging them, they are going to be way better than your current attack set that you have on any of your characters. So keep that in mind. The reforging will add a bunch of bonus stats. I will talk about reforging once we get to conversions, but for right now, don't worry about it. Now, this is a piece that has pretty high rolls, but it's protection set. This is up to you whether you want to keep it. You could end up trying to make some what people call MLM, multi-level marketing. This like pyramid scheme style characters, things that the normal player would not suggest trying to use, but there are some players, I am very guilty of this, that will tell you a character can be used good because I have seen success with them because I use a specific drafting strategy. And if you followed what I did, it would be really good. But this is for PvP. For PvE, everything is easy. But for PvP, I do it sometimes, but I'm to the point now where if I'm doing it, I let you know that this is a stupid idea, but I made it work. So just keep that in mind. Here's a piece with speed, effect res. If this rolled HP, it could be a decent protection sword. Here's an HP piece with not synergistic subsets. This is a piece with 1 speed. It could be 21 speed, so we're going to hold it and at least +3 it to check it. This piece is crit chance and attack, both pretty high rolls. This piece can be okay if it dodged effectiveness, so we could roll that. And then this piece we can get rid of. So as you see, we got a ton of gear we can roll. And then I have not finished my wyvern crafts. So with wyvern crafts, once you do a little bit of right side gear, enough to get your conversions if you're going to be converting for some right side gear if you of wyvern. Like I said, if you want to be focusing on banshee, then you can do that and try to get a conversion for either a ring or other thing. But the thing is, once you do a conversion, the piece could still suck. So it's very high gamble to go for counter set stuff, because the thing is right now we're still trying to clear PvE and get all our PvE teams set up. So by going for counter set stuff, your counter set characters are 95% going to only be used in PvP. So I wouldn't hard focus getting this yet still, but that is completely up to you. We're to a point now where you guys are going to kind of have to take whatever knowledge you have of the game and start making a little bit of your own decisions as to how you want to go forward with progress. If you want to keep following me, then you're going to get the same result I do, or at least close. So make that decision yourself. We are going so much faster in this portion of the guide, so I'm very happy with that. So this has speed. I didn't mean to craft rings, but this is a very high potential piece of gear. This is speed set with attack percent and defense percent. That's not really going to have much value. Usually when you have HP, it's going to be on an HP scaling damage dealer. So you're going to want defense, some kind of combination of defense, crit chance, crit damage, speed. So this isn't really too synergistic, but the other pieces have speed. The hit set pieces, I usually don't save them unless they have speed and subsets that work with the main value. And then this is defense percent, but it only has crit chance. It has flat defense, but it's hit set, so you don't get stat or set value. Any defense scaling damage dealer is not going to benefit from effectiveness in PvP. So we can go ahead and extract these. But from here, we are no longer going to do left side pieces for the rest of the guide. We're going to do, or right side pieces, we're going to do left side pieces, because left side pieces are what's going to be the easiest to balance out some stuff. So here is a piece that is okay. Max crit damage, high defense, decent HP. We could roll this. This could be used for an HP scaling damage dealer. Here's a piece that has perfect synergistic subsets, but it was a little rolled, but we'll keep it because by just finishing a speed set, here's the thing versus Banshee and Wyvern. By just putting a speed set on your character, you're going to be getting the speed set bonus of 25% extra speed. So even keeping a little bit lower tier piece of gear that you can use for a while, if it has all subs that benefit you, is better than trying to make something work that does not have subs that benefit you and not getting these set bonus. So all of the blue gear we'll get rid of, but we'll keep these. This has speed, so no matter what, we're going to roll it. This has speed, no matter what, we're going to roll it. But this is actually a perfect piece for a character such as Arya. I've talked about her a ton. This piece could also be good for Dilibet. This piece has a ton of possible uses. It's pretty high rolled. If it dodges effect res, it's perfect. If it hits effect res, it could still be used on characters. So this is a solid piece of gear. It's a piece of gear that is almost good. Here's a good example of a piece that has health and defense, which is good for a HP scaling damage dealer. It has effectiveness. You don't want that on any of your like core damage dealing units that aren't for PvE. And then it has flat health. So with effectiveness and flat health, we're going to go ahead and sell it because those are not going, it has 2 stats, and we don't want to have to try to change 2 stats on one piece of gear, because then you can only change one, and then you have less value within the piece of gear. So from here, I'm just going to keep extracting everything. We're not going to sell because we need all of the equipment conversion pieces we get. So let's go ahead and do one more chest. We'll do a couple of the other things, and we'll go do a conversion or two, and that will be it for the guide. So looking at this is crit set with, this has perfect synergy, but since it's crit set, we don't need crit on these characters, don't need to keep it. This is the same way. It has 2 minerals though. This is basically a blue piece of gear, so we'll go ahead and get rid of it. This has 1 speed, potential 21 speed piece. We're going to +3 it. Here's a crit set piece with crit chance. It's the same piece as what we got earlier, just in different order and a little bit lower rolled, but we're going to keep that and definitely roll to check for speed, and it possibly could be good otherwise. Here's a 4 speed piece. This could be 24 speed. It's hit set. It doesn't have perfect synergy or anything, but since it has speed, we're going to be checking. And then this piece of gear is min rolled on both and flat rolled. This is a terrible piece. So we're going to go ahead and extract it. Next up, we're going to go, oh, I did 1 extra. That's fine. We should be able to do 2 of each. But like I said, chests are the easiest. So that's like the first thing you can just do and get a good amount of things built up, and then you can focus on your other pieces. But this has 4 speed, so we're going to check that one. This one has 2 speed with offensive subs, so this could be okay, even though it's going to be split set. And this is the same way, but this has effectiveness and speed. So this could end up being good even if it doesn't roll all speed, but it needs to hit at least, I always say, needs to be 10 speed before Reforge on hit set typically to make the character work well, because all effectiveness needed characters for PvP are going to be needing a bit of speed. So let's go ahead and extract these, and now let's go to helmets. So we can do 2 helmets, then we'll do 1 sword, and then we'll do our epic crafts. So here, this is effectiveness with crit chance and defense. Could be okay for a PvE piece, but we will get better. There's speed check, speed check. This is going to be attack and health with flat defense. This is okay, but we're not going to be messing with too many speed set bruisers 0 speed early game, so we don't really need it. We'll get rid of it. We'll get a better red piece later. This is HP and effectiveness with flat attack, high rolls, but then the flat attack kind of kills it. So the thing is, pieces like this could end up really, really good. So this is where you kind of have to make a decision on how much you want to gamble. Purple pieces are the biggest gamble in the game. So if you have 2 substats that are good, but 1 substat that you need to change because it does not match at all. If this was to roll 8% health for the first 3 rolls, you're going to be sitting at 32 health with effectiveness. That could be really good on some characters. And then the problem is now, though, once you go to +12, if you were to roll crit damage here, then you're going to have flat attack and crit damage that you both need to change. That piece of gear is then going to be pretty garbage because you're going to have a wasted roll within it. So if you want to go for the gamble on some of the pieces that have some max rolls and you know what character can be used on, go ahead, but that is a big gamble. So next up, we have this piece, HP, attack, and it's crit, low rolls, not going to keep, and then all the rest are speed checks. So we can go ahead and extract these, and we're going to move on to, all right, let's do 1 more helmet, because if we get a crit helmet that has offensive subs, it could be very useful for us. And there it is. This is perfect. This is exactly what we were wanting from this. So this would be a great early game piece to round out sets. Next up, we have this as crit chance, crit damage, max rolls, and effect resist. The thing is, with speed set, you're not going to be really utilizing the effect res like you could on crit set. But since this is max roll, crit damage, crit chance, I personally will take the roll on this because getting max offensive subs is very, very nice early game. So this, I'll take the gamble. If it hits effect res, I'm going to sell it. So next up, we have this. This is going to be a speed check, but it also has synergy within all the stats, so that's good. As HP scaling or defense scaling damage dealer, there are HP scaling damage dealers, defense scaling damage dealers, and then there is going to be your attack scaling damage dealers. You need a combination of gear for all different styles of characters, and you need to do your research to know which one works on which. But that ends up being 3 pieces of gear we can upgrade out of there. And then lastly, let's do swords, and then we got 5 epic crafts we can do. So with our swords, hit set, minerals, no good. This piece is no good. This piece is no good with being hit set. We want to try to avoid hit set if it doesn't have speed. That is the rule. This is a piece that could be 21 speed, so we're going to roll it. This piece has a little bit of synergy, but no speed on hit set. Again, if you're going to be trying for hit set, if it has perfect offensive subs, you could try to make it work. So this is very high rolled, and you could change the flat HP to be crit damage, and you can make this usable on an HP scaling damage dealer. But the bad thing is you have effectiveness. That is going to be a dead stat, and you have HP, which is going to be a dead stat, trying to use it that way. One other way you could use this is you roll it, and you could change the crit chance out for maybe speed, but then it's not going to be too high value. So this is a piece you can roll. If it were to roll max effectiveness or HP, it could be okay. So we'll save it. But this is a piece with HP, effectiveness, effect res, and attack. So complete no synergy there whatsoever. Next up, we have this piece. It has a little synergy, low rolls though, both min rolls and almost min roll effect res. Let's get rid of it. So extract that. Now we have quite a few pieces of gear we can roll, and we can actually do, well, let's do our epic crafts and then we'll go from there. So what I was saying before, with your epic crafts, I would focus left side gear first. Doing epic craft right side gear, I'll do one to show the problem with doing it. If you're going to do it, do speed set. But if you try to epic craft right side gear, you're going to end up with pieces like this. We got crit damage, effectiveness, attack, mineral, bad, bad, bad. Not much synergy here, but this is okay. This actually ended up being better. So this is a piece that we could probably make use of for a while, but the chances of getting this is very low in comparison to getting something usable of left side gear. So with this, if you were to do speed set, and then you got a flat 8, or let's just say flat defense piece with no speed, that piece is garbage immediately. So it's way harder to get a usable piece of gear. This piece, I wouldn't even say is too usable, but we'll probably be able to make it work. But these pieces, you're so much more likely to get a piece of gear that is going to be good. So let's go ahead and try to get a speed set sword. This is already, look how easy it is. Left side pieces, you can get your accounts stacked up on left side gear early, and then you focus your conversions for right side gear. Best advice for newer players. This piece is great. Almost max roll, almost max roll. Effectiveness, hopefully you don't roll into it. And then if we don't, we can change it to crit damage. We have a banger sword right away. Speeds, helmets are going to be, again, the hardest. Like this piece, effectiveness, effect res, attack, defense, no synergy, immediately extract it. We'll do one more helmet. So here we go. This is a piece that has speed and attack and effectiveness, and then the effect res we could gem out if it doesn't roll high effect res. If it rolls high speed and effect res, we can change the effect res to defense, and we'll have at least 3 of 4 usable stats on it. So this is a piece of gear that you, no matter what, will roll to +6 to check the speed, depending on how it's rolling, and if you see a use case for it, you can continue rolling. Now let's do a speed set chest. Chests are the easiest. If you do a conversion of a couple chests, you're going to be in a great spot. So this is effect res, effectiveness combo. Want to avoid that. Health, crit chance, good combo, but the bad thing is you don't really need effectiveness with that. If you're going to be doing an HP scaling damage dealer for chests, you're going to want HP, defense, crit chance, crit damage. The thing is you could roll this and change the effect res to crit damage if it dodges it. So a lot of gearing is going to be up to you. The thing is we are limited on charms. We will always be limited on charms. So if you're going to be upgrading, you need to upgrade as smartly and efficiently as you can. So again, no crafting T70 gear. T70 gear is bad. And then we'll craft one more of these, and we'll craft a few helmets. So this has health, attack, and crit damage. I'm going to go ahead and save this piece in case we need a speed set piece to round something out. I don't think I'll end up keeping it after the upgrades, but if it rolls perfectly, super high attack could be usable in multiple ways. So let's go ahead and do a couple more helmets, because I would like one banger DPS helmet. And then I think after that, we should be able to do a good job. So this is the ideal piece for a hit set. You have your defense, you have your health, and you have your attack. If one of these was effectiveness, it could be even better. But there we go. This is pretty good synergy, and it has speed, so that has a good chance of being good. Now we have 2 more crafts left to do. This we can extract, and then lastly, we can go ahead and do this. And then it's speed, so we can extract. So now we are to the portion of the guide where I will be talking about equipment conversions. So with your equipment conversions, you're going to be getting these from World Boss. You can log in, or you can get them from, you get the blue boxes once a week from Guild. You get the blue boxes once a week from trading transmit stones in. You can get it once every 2 weeks from doing the Automaton Tower. So that's 3 boxes every once in a while. Then you also have the option to get them from doing expeditions. And there's a few places you can get them, but those are extremely valuable items. But you will be getting these from World Boss drops and Guild. That's why I was telling you, even if your score sucks in World Boss, you still have the chance of getting these to drop. Every single one of these that drops is amazing value. So the problem is, whenever you're doing this though, is you need to make sure you have the conversion for them. So you have the option to put in a combo of pieces. But the problem is, if you put in a combo of pieces, then you have an 82% chance of getting a hit set sword, which you don't want, and a 17% chance of getting that. So if you were to combine it with all different types that you would be happy to end up getting, then it can be okay. So let's go ahead. I think No, the sword I got was good. So let's do this. So we have a 44% chance for that, 20%. I would always say the best thing you can do is try to get as much of the one type you can and just put all of that in there though. So you don't need to do a combo like this, but I'm doing it just to show you once you put it in. It's a gamble if you do it this way. And let's see what we get. We got a speed set sword with perfect substats, except effectiveness should be speed. But equipment conversion gives red piece of gear as long as you fill that bar up. You need to make sure you max this bar or you're going to get a crap piece of gear and you wasted your resource. So make sure this bar is completely full to get an epic piece of gear. Next up, we had a chest that we could do. So with the chest, this is an example. We could guarantee get a hit set chest out of this. So if you put in 56, if you have your alchemist steeple or leveled up to 033, which it should be, or 133, depending on how you put your resources, then you can do this for 53 and then your gold cost will be this. So that is how you guarantee it, is by putting 56 for left side gear. But we do not really want a crit set chest, so we're going to do a combination of counter and speed. Hopefully this could be a way to get an extra counter piece. And we have a decent mix of stats. It's, again, we've already covered a piece exactly like that. It can be usable, but probably not. So now we have our equipment conversion boxes. These equipment conversion boxes should be utilized for left side gear. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 speed boots, and we're going to do 1 attack percent ring today. You can do these in whichever way you want to. You can save them until you've done quite a bit of crafting, so you can target a certain piece. So again, the longer you save up resources and wait to use them until you know exactly what you want to try for, the better. But now we're going to go into speed, because speed set is super important. Once you get your speed boots locked down, you're in a great spot. So this is going to be a piece that has crit damage, defense, and effect res. This is a piece that has multiple chances to be great in many ways. If it goes all into crit damage and defense and flat defense, then you have a defensive scaling damage dealer piece of gear. If it goes defense, effect res, and flat defense, you can change your crit damage out for HP percent, and you have a Soul Weaver boot. So this red pieces of gear are so easy to work with in comparison to purple, because there is no gamble involved. Now we're to a point where we're going to have to either do a combination or not. I'm going to go ahead and try for a pair of crit set boots and just see what we end up getting. So as you see, right side gear takes 70 to get the max, but always make sure left bar is maxed out so that you are getting red pieces of gear. So this piece of gear is looking pretty rough. This can be used for an early game account. We have crit damage, flat health we'll get rid of, defense, and attack percent. So if we roll high defense, or we can 5 roll into crit damage, so it's worth at least plus 6ing to see if we start hitting high crit damage. If we hit HP twice or once, it's dead. If we hit defense twice, it's dead. If we hit attack too much, it could still be okay. So if we high roll attack and go crit damage, this could be an offensive character piece as well. We would just trade out the HP for crit chance as long as it doesn't roll into HP more than 1 time. So I know that's a lot to take in, but that is a little bit of guidance on seeing if a piece is good or not. So now we are at attack percent. So we're going to be doing speed set and crit set. So this hit set, we're going to be trading in for charms. And I'm going to do a little bit of gear upgrading, and that's going to be the end of the video. So this piece of gear sucks. It has flat HP, flat defense, effect res, and crit damage. We don't need this for anything. The rolls aren't good. It's 23 equipment scores, kind of gives you a guideline of that's pretty bad. 30, anything above 30 is probably going to end up being worth rolling, as the substats are decent. If it has speed, it could be all the way down to this bad and worth rolling though. So this piece of gear, I'm just going to instantly extract it. Don't care. You could roll max crit damage on that, and it could be okay, but I'm not going to take the gamble on it. Now we are going to make sure we trade in for as many charms as we can. Within this, you need to, again, make sure you are doing the maximum for at least the right side charms, which is the bottom option here. So we're just going to go in, we're going to throw in all of that, throw in all of this. Now we need one more, and then we have done this. This will be a weekly thing. It resets every day the same, or every Monday the same way that the other things reset. So going into here, I want to save my right side conversion charms except for hit set as much as I can, and then boots, you save everything except for hit set the most that you can. So hit set is going to be something you can use later if you have extra, but hit set is what you're going to typically be feeding into this. So now that that is done, we now have some charms to upgrade and try out some of the gear that we just tried to get. So I'm not going to upgrade all of it, obviously, because that will take forever in this video, but you can see our inventory is starting to get full. So one thing is you need to be efficient when upgrading gear to keep your inventory from getting too cluttered. You do have the option to upgrade this. I'm going to upgrade it to 150 for now. I, on my main account, only use 200 spots here, and I have no gear in extra storage. There is, if you click the button right there, you have extra storage, and you can also upgrade this. It's a lot of Skystones that you could save for progression if you would just learn how to handle gear properly and not overload your everything. So now we can go in and start checking some of these pieces. This is a piece of gear that I said was okay to +3. See if it grows crit chance or attack, and if it's a max roll, it's a min roll, we're going to go ahead and get rid of it right away. So now we're going to go ahead and check into this piece and see. I'm going to sort by max enhance. It rolled a 6 attack, so this would be something that maybe for an MLM character, again, it's slang, but a character that isn't on a general build but could end up using maybe a broken piece, this could be okay for them. But I am not going to worry about that for right now. I'm going to go ahead and feed the piece because it did not max roll. But you do not have to treat gear the same way I do. So this is a protection set piece that just max rolled effect resist. So the thing with protection set pieces is they're going to go on tanks and soul weavers, and you only need a couple pieces of gear. So if the piece isn't rolling insane, you don't need to worry about keeping upgrading it. But I'm going to go ahead and put it to +6 just to see if we get another 8 or that. So this has potential. The problem is we want HP % on this. So if this at +12 rolls badly, it will be garbage, which sucks, but I'll log it for now because why not? So this is a check. I keep telling you guys, save 1 speed piece of gear because it could be 21 speed. So this now, since it rolled 2, the fastest it could be is 19. So that is up to you. Once you start doing that, depends on how fast of a piece or how fast you want to set a standard for yourself as to what to keep upgrading. This is another piece that I said could be 21 speed, did not hit speed, we go again. This is a piece I said I probably wouldn't upgrade after the first one, depending on if it max rolled attack. It min rolled crit damage, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. But you can go through your gear very quickly, just like this, and roll it to see if you like it. If it's a piece you think you could maybe use and upgrade later, you can lock it. These kind of pieces, if it's high gear score, this is where I would throw into your equipment storage. So this piece of gear has potential. It could end up being pretty good. So if you are curious, oh wait, what is this piece? It has attack effectiveness. I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this piece. I don't know why I saved it. This piece is effectiveness health. This is a piece I said if it rolled all into health or all into effectiveness, could be okay, but not great. It did max roll and get a good roll there, so it is pretty high gear score, but I'm not sure what we could use it on. So this is a good example of maybe there could be something for it later. The problem is not having any speed makes it hurt really badly, and the crit chance, there's not a lot of characters that need effectiveness and crit chance right now, but for the sake of this guide, I don't think I would keep this normally. I probably would have sold it, not even upgraded it. But if you are curious and don't want to deal with it right now, throw it in the storage. But don't throw too much in storage because you're going to end up overloaded and not be able to. You're going to just end up in a bad spot. So this piece of gear is awesome. We just got 2 pretty good rolls to mid roll and almost max roll. So this is going to hopefully dodge effectiveness. Nice. That is another pretty good roll. And okay, this piece of gear is amazing. So this is a piece of gear that will +20 for sure. If it goes into effectiveness, since it only has 1 roll into effectiveness, if it goes 1 more, it is worth changing to crit damage. You will lose a little stat value, but overall it rolled pretty high, and even losing a little stat value, it has perfect subs. It's going to be fantastic for a new player. This is another piece that we could upgrade, but that just shows the upgrading process that you should go through. So hopefully this guide helped you. I kept it a lot shorter. I said this one would be 45 minutes, and it is 40 minutes, but I covered everything we needed to in crafting, and this is a much better portion than the other portion. The other portion I tried to make it good, but there's so much to cover. So hopefully between these 2 guides it helped you. If you have any questions, comment it down below. We will guide you through anything you need. If you are willing to join the Discord, you can get into a good guild. It's super worth it. You can ask questions, you can send pictures of your gear, and learn a lot. Epic 7 is a learning game. After playing it for 2 months and learning as much as you can, you're going to be doing super well. So I'm glad this portion I feel much better about. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking with me through this guide series. If this is your first crafting video, or first video you watched of me, then I do have a new player guide series. If you are newer to the game and wanting to get your account progressed as efficiently, not efficiently, but it's pretty efficient and as quickly, then you can follow my new player guide. But it's been Mitch or Deity, and I will see you all in the next portion. Peace out.